Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Once again, here we are gathered, okay? And ladies, I'm going through it. I got to let you know, I got spirits all around me. And no, this is not my schizophrenic break, but I had a lot of spaghetti before I did this show. And the spirit of the carbohydrates have absolutely defeated me and depleted me. But as a showman and as a man of the show, like a circus ringleader, I know that the show must go on no matter how much spaghetti I'm going to digest in the process. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 36th episode of the Just with Josh. You can feel it. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Come together now. Because the whole world is coming together now. All right? Everyone's kind of aware. All right? We've been ticking. We've been talking. We've been tweeting. We've been retweeting. We've been YouTube-tubing. We've been full of sugar and highly processed carbohydrates, and we're feeling good as a people. It's back. Life is back as we know it, and it's really firing on all full cylinders. And you can feel it that the people are just ready to rise up. They're ready to fully to conquer. They're ready to take back what's theirs, and they're fed up. They're fed up, the people. So without further ado, mirror on the wall, who is the most based of them all? That's when I'm looking into the mirror and I'm asking. And I wish I had a magic mirror. You think with all the technology we have, we'd have a magic mirror by now. Maybe the artificial intelligence will be like a magic mirror that we can talk to. We can ask questions. Mirror on the wall, who is the most based of them all? And then Andrew Tate appears. But what if Andrew Tate's not the most based? Like, what if Andrew Tate is inside of his house in Romania, or he's inside his jail cell in fucking Romania, in his isolation chamber, and he's just staring into his inner mind's insanity. He's just like, mirror on the wall, who is the most based of them all? And then it says, well, Mr. Tate, actually, and he just reveals, like me in the woods, living with like a militia, resisting against the government, and we're just like holding down the fort. And he's like, who is this? Who is this boy? It's like, his name is Josh Thompson. He is from Canada. He's the host of the Just with Josh. You wouldn't know about it. You're not cool enough. You're not nearly based enough. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think I'm savage, if you think some of the things I say are a bit too much, really, you're being racist, okay? I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if my genes and my stature doesn't just scream Scandinavian, Viking DNA. So really, you're being racist towards me. It's in my people's DNA. It's in our code. We're very savage. We're very free creatures. I don't know if you've seen Braveheart. Okay, so excuse me. Okay. But yeah, there was a lot of these girls, they're saying that as guys, all this alpha chat, they're calling us out because we're the young guys, we're getting based, we're getting red pilled. We've been building ourselves up. All right. We're not just sitting around playing Fortnite, eating Cheetos anymore. We've licked the dust off our fingers. We're doing push-ups. We got podcasts now. We got crypto. We're getting money. And the women are the feminists are panicking, okay? Because the value of pussy is decreasing at an increasingly accelerating rate. Like as the dollar plummets, the value of the dollar plummets. So does the value of the female genitalia. And as men become more based and red pilled, you see that these women, these naive women, these young women, their tactics become increasingly more blunt and savage. Kind of like my own. they're starting to get into this type of domination. A lot of them fancy themselves BDSM. They think they're on top. They want you to submit to them sexually. They're saying, oh, well, these men, they can't be so alpha and based and red pilled. They're not so tough. If they're going to lick my asshole, when I command them to, okay? Or, because there was this one story I was reading about on Twitter. There was a girl bragging on Twitter, and she was saying, oh, well, I could have this guy beg to lick this guy was begging to lick my asshole. Like, he was just begging. Like, apparently he was like a dog. Like, he took her out for dinner, did the whole 9 yards, took her home, and then he got down on his knees and started begging for something crazy like that. And I made the point, the counterpoint, and this almost got me in a bit of trouble. I'm locked out of Twitter every 7 days, so I get on there. I'm allowed to be on there for like 2 days, and then they kick me off. I'm probably going to get suspended altogether off all fucking platforms. Big surprise. I pointed out that, if it wasn't all for this whole legal system and all these laws that protect you, feminists, we wouldn't have to ask, okay? We wouldn't have to beg, okay? You wouldn't be able to just, postulate yourselves on OnlyFans and wear these crazy clothes and act out these insane fantasies. In the caveman world, in the natural world, you would have been hit over the head with a club and dragged into the cave by your hair, okay? You would have been essentially beaten into submission, okay? And I'm not advocating beating women. I'm just saying, I feel like they're getting a little... I think it's going to their head a little bit. I think the OnlyFans, the domination that we've kind of been getting off on as guys, because we have a lot of us are into some kinky shit. Some guys call themselves pay pigs. We got a lot of pay pigs out there that are they think they're doing God's work. They're paying these women. I'll give you $500 out of my paycheck. Well, I have a girlfriend. I can just give this woman like half of every paycheck I get. And it's an absolutely abysmal thing. And we got these women. It's went to their heads, and now they're trying to run in the muck on us. But now, as we kind of awaken to that fact, and we start to kind of call them out, they're really doubling down. They're not. You got some sorry ladies that repent. You got a couple girls that say they're based in red pill now. They say they're with the cool kids. But a lot of them are doubling down. They've put their OnlyFans on 50%. There's 50% discounts. I'm on Twitter, and there's like women with less followers than me, with less notoriety than me, like selling their pussy online for like $10. Like, I remember back in high school, like, God forbid somebody's nudes got leaked. Like, that girl would like kill herself. And then everyone would be like, oh my God, you killed that girl because you leaked her nudes. You killed that woman. Oh my God, you made her commit suicide because you leaked her nudes. How insensitive. Like 13 Reasons Why. I think wasn't that one of the fucking reasons? Probably was. I read the book. I can't remember. I didn't watch the show. That's one of the 13 reasons. And these ladies now, they sell these pictures for $10 online, and then a lot of these girls who are probably 18 years old, 19 years old, they're taking pride in the fact they're celebrating, like, oh, I got this many, oh, I'm in the top 20% of OnlyFans because I get $200 a month. And it's lovely. You want to know what's wrong with our economy. You want to know why you can't afford a house. It's because we reinvest 25% of the GDP in the fucking OnlyFans into looking at borderline minor girls, naked online, instead of reinvesting that into a timber industry or, refining oil or building a pipeline. We're reinvesting that into a pipeline into our daughters. Okay, just a pussy pipeline. And it's like, what do we gain? Like, what do we gain here? Like, yeah, it's nice. It's nice being able to see, a bunch of random average girls nude, I guess. Like, girls that you would probably just see in public that are like, you think are normal. And then they end up having like their own porno online because they've been essentially possessed by Baphomet. All right. So, yeah, I don't know about this. If you get upset because someone else provoked you, then you're easily controlled, and you have no control over your emotions. And, if you're triggered and you're one of these people who just has to stop by and get angry when somebody else makes a comment, that means you're easily controlled. And I wanted to make a comment about what's going on with the censorship. And I've been using a lot of different social medias lately, and I've been getting censored in a lot of different ways, especially as I get a little bit more traffic. And a lot of this censorship is ridiculous, because you'll be talking about censorship and then you get censored for talking about censorship. I think even that word is going to get me blacklisted in some weird way. And I was watching one of Sam Hyde's new videos today. He uploaded his Perfect Guy Life podcast onto YouTube, and every other word's basically blanked out. He's not saying anything. And I don't know, am I not doing the right thing? Do I have to bleep out every other thing? I really don't care about YouTube as a platform. I really don't give a shit. Okay, they can ban me. I'm still going to record the Just with Josh, and it's going to get uploaded somewhere. If I have to put it on CDs, regardless of the censorship that's taking place, regardless of if the Canadian government or Justin Trudeau tries to ban, comedy content that's Canadian that he deems unfit or culturally unfit for programming, I'm still going to find a way to put out my content. I don't care if that puts me as a homeless derelict on the side of the road on a street in Toronto, like one of those crazy preachers. I'll fucking link up with that guy. I'll find the preacher guy in Toronto. I'll post up with him. We'll do the Just with Josh together. Because it's happening. And you know what? They can't ban me in real life. Okay? You can't ban me in real life because you know what? I can still get up and I can still, as long as I got a voice, as long as I can speak, all right, there's going to be a Just with Josh. There's going to be a continuation of my, comedy. So fear not, to my loyal fans and audience, fear not. There will be, in whatever form necessary, a continuation. The government will not hold us down. I will be like Three Dog I'll be like the news station in Fallout 3, okay, the one that broadcasts throughout the fucking wasteland, okay? If they drop the nukes, you'll hear on the radios. You'll just switch over to the channel. Hello, this is a Survivor broadcast. This is the Just with Josh. This is the Just with Josh programming. We are calling out to you through the capital wasteland. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I hope you're surviving out there amongst the mutants and craters. I hope you have lots of fucking canned beans. I hope your skin isn't peeling off. If you're one of the rich assholes living inside of a citadel, drinking your own piss over and over again, fuck you. Yeah, it'll keep happening. But even just swearing, saying, bah. We're 13 minutes in, so I don't know if it's a big deal. I don't know. They probably have a machine like Twitter that just an Autobot that scans everything and you can tell, when you're breaking the rules. But I was thinking about it, guys. And you know what I think's really foolish? I think all these war stuff is really silly. And it's definitely been talked about in friend circles a lot. People have definitely made the joke before. What if instead of having wars, a real wars where we all kill each other, we all grew up playing Call of Duty, we all grew up playing video games. Okay, what if we grew up and stopped having these wars and we had these combat simulations in a video game? And we've all talked about that before. That's not new. All right, but what if instead of having a war simulation, or what if we had a battle? What if we had games of chess, or what if we had an Olympic event, or what if we had a race around the world? We created crazy events, and that could decide if you get Ukraine. Do you think people would play by those rules? Definitely not, right? Brutal force, at the end of the day, is a necessary evil, obviously. Because Russia would cheat or something. They'd be they would use if we did like a race to the moon, like somehow like somebody, even if like United States, for example, like won the race to the moon, like the other side would probably like, I don't know, they'd probably call bullshit, call fake news. Like they wouldn't actually be able to settle on it and agree to the terms of the, or could they? Like if they had like a really well designed game that was just like almost like Ender's Game, like the movie Ender's Game, like a simulated royale or simulate like some type of sport or some type of display of a feat of humanity. Honestly, we should be just writing and discussing these issues. Like I don't want to sound like a communist, but like, or like a globalist, but I mean like America, Trump. If Trump was in power right now, he'd go over to Putin, he'd just high five him. They would have a couple fucking, I don't know, Trump doesn't drink, so they wouldn't have a couple of like beers or anything, I guess. They just like high five and probably like bang some hookers, and they'd make up. They'd be like, you know what, you're actually, why are we doing this? Like, this is stupid. Like, remember when you just used to send us hot chicks to get green cards? Like, why don't we just keep doing that? Why are we trying so hard to like fight with all this blood and war? Like Trump was good with that. Like the way he called out like Kim Jong-un and totally solved that situation. That's what we need. We need that energy. We need less kill energy. Less of that. All that stuff, all that crazy war stuff should be, we're too old for that. And it's going to be a real shame if it comes down to the fact that, our own government puts us in a situation like they've kind of been, like where they're restricting our freedoms. And it's like, but we really gotta just chill out. We gotta set an example. We gotta show these tyrants how to be people. You don't want to give in to, a crazy war frenzy or, even any type of that violence. Because as soon as you start playing that game of violence, it's like you're dealing with the devil. You're dealing with the devil, and you might take a little bit, but what it costs is too much. It's always too much. If the government wants to, force us to eat crickets and live in camps, like, there's, that's like, it's going to suck, but there's got to be a way that we can get ahead of this socially by talking about it and being aware, even beyond the censorship. And, we can kind of just mitigate the whole situation. Like, I think that's what comedians are doing. That's kind of why I'm into it. So instead of having like these wars, it'd just be kind of fun. Like, what if we just had like a, another Royale or something? Like, what if we had a Hunger Games? What if we just had a legit Hunger Games? Like, we could just like sacrifice one or two people. Like, they could still kill each other. We're still getting the bloodshed. Like, has this ever been practiced in history? Like, has there ever been like a civilization that, like, instead of fighting in war, like they like fought like, I don't know, they fought like in other ways, like they didn't have enough troops, like everyone was kind of too pussy, like two kingdoms that were next to each other that were like, oh, like we own this oasis, like there's two kingdoms, there's like a tiny little oasis in the middle with a nice palm tree, and they're like, this is ours. Like, no, it's ours. No, it's ours. No, it's ours. It's like, oh, we're gonna fight. It's like, no, we're not gonna fight. It's like, all right, we're gonna have a competition. That's what they should do for Ukraine, because Ukraine kind of sucks. Like, who gives a shit? Like, why are we going to die on a hill for fucking Ukraine? Do a CSGO tournament. Do a Dota 2 tournament for Ukraine. All right, next topic. There's a ghost in me, okay? Who wants to say I'm sorry? But it doesn't mean I'm sorry. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a ghost in me who wants to say he's sorry. But it doesn't mean I'm sorry. And I'm not sorry. I'm going to continue to say things the way they need to be said. In a way that doesn't get me completely banned off these platforms. But if you can't use certain speech, like if you can't use the most extreme levels of speech, like, nasty things, if you can't say nasty things and you can't express violence, like, you're really, like, that's not going to take away like that part of nature from humans. They're still gonna, like, you can tell somebody, you could like mute somebody from like expressing their hatred, but then they still might come to your house with a baseball bat and fucking, you know what I mean? So it's not really, I don't know, it just doesn't seem productive. Like, let people express themselves, let people be hateful, let people get that energy off their chest in the verbal sense. Let them express themselves verbally, so that way then they don't feel like all they're left with is action, you know? Like, when people are completely, it's like I have no mouth, but I must scream. You don't want to put people in a situation where they feel like they have no mouth, but they must scream, you know? Because a person who's desperate will do crazy things, you know? Who are being silenced, and some of them are crazy. And some of them aren't as, peace driven and passive as myself, And when you suppress these darker truths, when you say like, oh, you're not allowed to be an asshole, you're not allowed to be this way, you're not allowed to express yourself in this way, you're just suppressing like an essential part of that person, and they're gonna like totally come back like way worse than they would have if you just heard them out, This isn't me threatening like my entire audience. Like, I'm just saying, like, in general, it's creating it's bad for business, okay? It's not good for business. And I know that's the main thing. We live under a corporate fascist fucking nightmare. And it's everything's a business decision. It's all dollars and, how much is this going to cost? Like, how much is this going to eat into expenses? Like, and then, well, I guess there's a lot of wasted expense too. There's really just a lot of write-offs. There's a whole lot of, fluff that gets kind of mixed into that. But nonetheless, there's a reason for that fluff. Someone's getting paid. Someone's getting paid for, that $30,000 piece of software that your company never uses, or, But, I'll be honest, if they're going to try and take us out, like, if they're going to silence all the comedians, or they're going to try and ruin our lives for speaking our truth, they're going to try and shut us down completely and say, no, you can't say that. Like, I'm just going to double down. Like, I'm going to go out. Like, I don't know if they actually poison people. Like, I don't know if they actually assassinate political dissidents. Like, that's such a crazy thing. Like, that only happens in movies, right? And our government, like the Trudeau government, the liberals would never do something like that. They would never do something so evil. They would never assassinate a political dissident. They would never take somebody out. That's crazy. That's what criminals do, And these people aren't criminals. I mean, well, they are, but I mean, they're not bloodthirsty, So I don't think I have anything to worry about. But let's say, that was a risk. Then, to hell with it. Like, I'm gonna go out like the Terry Fox of comedy. Like, I only got so much time left. I'm gonna say as much as I can to try and blow this lid off because if we all stand together, we all start saying that we don't give a shit. Like, we're gonna take our free speech. We're gonna say whatever we want. We're gonna be our own people. We're gonna be individuals, and we all stand together. We all have each other's backs, and we're united. Their words, their policies, like, it'll mean nothing. Like, even if they won't be able to fight us. It won't even be a matter of physical resistance at that point. It'll just be like a total, like, emotional resistance. It'll be a change, like, and I don't think any of the people that are in the military, like any of the people in the Navy, I got like 3 friends in the Navy, okay? These guys are R-words, okay? They're total R-words. And most people in the military are, okay? And they're nice guys. They're sweethearts. And I don't think they want to turn on their own people. I don't think they would ever, like, just fall down, like, goons and just render our people just because the government told them to, just because the government sicked them on their own population. I think they would join forces with the people, actually. And because at the end of the day, being Canadian isn't being a liberal. It's not being, conservative. It's not being any of that shit. It's, we all live in this frozen wasteland. We all have, bad channels on TV, and we all have nice teeth because we got good fucking dental care in this country. All right. And, we're not afraid of the cold. We like Tim Hortons, we do okay. We're polite. We're good living here. Okay. We're kind of cool. We have a lot of outdoors. You can explore. It's a beautiful land. We're not trying to form communes for civil rights, and we're not trying to create cricket communes and live in blocks and lock people up for not taking vaccines or telling people to do anything. That's not what it is. We're just a very independent people. We always have been. So, I don't think if we stood together for something positive, for our children, for our future, just to have a voice for ourselves, I don't think we would be hurt. I don't think harm would be laid upon us. So, yeah, because when no one agrees with, and nobody agrees with these liberals, nobody agrees. You go online, you look under these Twitter posts, you go look under Justin Trudeau's Twitter, you go look under Jagmeet Singh's Twitter, and they're just getting lit up. Nobody's got anything nice to say. And people are fed up. People are so fed up. It's crazy. Okay? And when no one agrees with you, all right, you need to change. All right? Because the more you deny the nature of reality, the harder it's going to come at you. All right? Like a load on a pretty lady's face. It's going to come at you, and you're not going to see. You're not going to be able to see what's coming. You're just going to have to completely lay down. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to try and stick an army on us. They're going to try and get us to send in the guns. But I don't think it's going to work. If there's another freedom convoy, like they did with the military, some people say that those troops were, French police or whatnot. I don't know. All right. But yeah, no, they're running the airports the trains to Auschwitz, though. I'll tell you what, and there's nobody who's more pissed with the state of airports in Canada than Chris Sky, which is kind of ironic because of his name. And it's true. Geez, trying to get travel and whatnot, it's you gotta have all this, notices and whatnot. You gotta. I mean, the Nazis probably they probably weren't as efficient with the trains running to Auschwitz as they are with these planes, which you think is a good thing. If they didn't treat you half as good as they probably did on those fucking trains. Seriously, they're just packing you in. They want to see how big your dick is. They make you walk through. They check your penis. It's not cool, ladies and gentlemen. It's not nice. I have an idea for a parody for I'm Blue by Eiffel Tower. I'm Blue. Something like I'm blue, ba-da be-da ba-die, I believe ba-da-die. My parody is it's true, I'm a guy. Like a trans parody. Instead of I'm blue, it's true, I'm a guy. I believe I'm a guy. It's true, I believe I'm a guy. I don't know, that sounded a lot better in my head. But I don't know, maybe I'll get into, producing some videos and whatnot once I'm in Toronto and I have a little bit more resources. Maybe I'll produce some parody music video or something. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun. Hopefully there's some, people I have to work with, some new resources. It's a big city. It's fully open now. When I was last in Toronto, it was completely shut down. There wasn't anything going on in Toronto. Everything was shut down. I mean, there was a lot going on, I guess. Like, if you count, like, getting yelled at by people for not wearing a mask, like, a good time, like, then, yeah, that was, like, go fill your boots. I remember one time I went into a cheese store in Chinatown to get some cheese, and they had, like, blueberry cheese, and I was like, what the hell, blueberry cheese? How do you get blueberry and cheese? Like, these masterminds figured it out. And, but I didn't have my mask on, and I remember, like, this guy was like, oh, you gotta put on your mask. He was, like, the cheesemonger, you know, and he was like, oh, he was on a power. He was tripping, you know, because he was cutting the cheese, and he was just tripping on power. He was like, oh, you gotta have your mask on. I was like, I'm not gonna put on a fucking mask. I want to pay for my cheese. I want to go. He's like, I'm not gonna sell you this cheese unless you put on a mask. I was like, I'm not putting on a mask unless, oh, you gotta give me this cheese or I'm walking out with the cheese for free. And he was like, I'll call the police. I was like, call them. He's like, and then this other lady, like, ushered me over. This guy was, like, ready to fight me. I was like, holy fuck, man. Like, this dude, like, wanted to battle over the mask. I almost got in, like, 3 different fist fights over the mask. That I was able to thankfully de-escalate, you know, but yeah, a lot of mask warriors last time I was in Toronto, but now it's completely back online, and all the clubs are open, all the beautiful comedy clubs, and there's so many. There's more open mics than any other place in Canada, you know, so be able to get good. You know, you won't have to listen to this crap. You know, I'll bring it up like 30 levels. I'll have way more. I'll have a lot more practice. That's for sure. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to get in front of a live audience. I mean, it's easy to sit behind a camera and, you know, run a microphone, but a live audience? Good God. What am I going to do? Like, I'm going to have to stand in front of 50 people that are, like, drunk and, like, older than me, like, for the most part, and, like, probably, like, know more about life. I'm going to have to, like, try and entertain them. Like, I've made people laugh and stuff before, but it's just still, it's, like, it's kind of nerve-wracking, you know? You know? Like, I won't be able to go in with spaghetti. Like, I'm going to have to, like, I don't know, drink like a protein shake and like take some of that, take some like pre-workout or some shit, like some C4 before I go on stage, you know? But I'm so excited. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so fucking cool. I'm 24 right now. 24, you know? So like, I want to be like the best, like, the best in Canada, the best comedian in Canada, hopefully. Whatever we define that metric by the time I'm like, I don't know, as fast as possible. As fast as possible. The way I see it is, like, I'm a very competitive person. So yeah, I love the game. You know, I think it's more important to enjoy the game than it is to win the game. And I'll enjoy the game. I'll even lose a game if it means enjoying the game. But I think this is the kind of game where there's enough room for everybody to win. It's kind of like Joe Rogan says, like, you know, winning doesn't necessarily mean that somebody else loses in comedy. Because in comedy, when people compete, the only people that benefit are like the audience. You know, they're gonna enjoy that kind of thing. And I don't know, maybe I'll get to do some like roast battles. Dude, I feel like I'd be like kind of good at roasting, but I feel like I need to get roasted. Like, I feel like I need to be roasted really bad. Need to like be told what's wrong with me in a very blunt way in front of a bunch of people and be laughed at. I feel like I could benefit from that level of humility. Yeah, I hope everything goes as planned, you know? Yeah. Cafes. There's this new term I've been hearing. This is like the most erratic episode ever. Like, we just been jumping around from one thing to another, and we're like 35 minutes in. But there's two more things I want to cover. First of all, I want to talk about how gay dudes, a lot of gay guys say they don't believe in God. It's kind of hard to believe in God and be gay at the same time. You know, I have a theory that a lot of gay people have trouble with God. You know, I think that's silly. Like, just because you get fucked in the ass doesn't mean you can't have a relationship with God. I know it's hard to believe. I know it's hard to take yourself seriously as a person. But I just want you to know I support you, okay? And if that's how you want to do it, there's no reason you can't pray. There's no reason Jesus isn't your friend. You know, I say a lot of jokes about gay people on this show. You know, I say a lot of jokes about everybody on this show. But I want you to know that at the end of the day, you know, I wouldn't put you on a train to Auschwitz. I love you. You know, I think, I do believe diversity is our strength at the end of the day. I don't think it's our strength necessarily. I think money, I think capital, I think resources. I think resources and, like, intellect and, like, knowledge is our strength. I think knowledge is our main strength. But I think diversity is nice. And I like a couple of disabled people. I think it's nice. I like it when there's disabled people around. It makes me feel good about myself. I like it when there's transsexual people around. It makes me feel slightly aroused. I like it when there's, you know, loud women around. It makes me, you know, annoyed. But it's nice to get annoyed, you know? If life wasn't annoying sometimes and it was just always, you know, going your way, that would kind of be boring. So thank you for Karen. Thank you for being there. Okay? And thank you, Dylan Mulvaney, okay, for showing me what it means to be a man in a woman's body. Or, sorry, a woman in a man's body. It's hard to tell with that guy. I mean, talk about passing. Am I right? Jesus. I could almost eat that guy's, you know. But, yeah, the more the Red Bull hits me, the more I feel like I can persist in this world. Yes, I can feel my mortal coil strengthening. I'm going to be here for a much longer time. There's no way I'm giving myself pre-diabetes with the amount of sugary drinks I drink. Yeah. But you know what? I think this has been a great episode. I think this has been a very Kafka-esque episode. Yeah, I understand that's not the proper use of that word. I was just kind of throwing that in there because I keep hearing that word pop up. Kafkaesque. It's like apparently like an author who wrote a book about, I don't know, this fictional tale about how nothing like makes sense and this guy's being persecuted by some legal system, but they won't tell him what he did wrong. That's kind of how it feels, you know, to be, you know, trying to be an entertainer online nowadays with like all these censorship rules. But I'm glad, you know, I have a platform. You know, thank you so much, you know, for watching this and, you know, keeping me company, allowing me to keep you company and talk about these things that, you know, maybe, you know, a lot of people talk about nowadays, you know. It's getting more popular, you know, talk about these things, you know, take the voodoo, take the poison out of the conversation, you know. Saying it out loud just to see how it feels. Okay. So with that, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, have a lovely weekend. You know, stay safe. Enjoy yourself. And, yeah. All right. Ta-ta.